guys, welcome to Chess Deep Study. Today we are going to talk about one of the checkmate patterns, the Boden mate. In England 1853, Boden ended a game after just 15 moves. The wonderful checkmate was so pretty that his name was immediately attached to it. The pattern arrives after Queen side castling and is extremely easy for a beginner to overlook. Every year, even strong players fail to recognize the danger signals and jump into the trap. And it involves a queen sacrifice to put the king in the crossfire by 2 bishops. Note how the bishop on f4 is controlling the same important squares near the black king. The sacrifice has ripped open the queen side, and remarkably, black king is mated in the minigame by just 2 bishops. One bishop cuts off the king's flight squares, while the other then stands at it along a diagonal. And noticed that the king must be prevented by retreating away from the crossfire. It's served either by black's own piece or by pieces of yours, like in this example, the white rook on e1, which stops the king here from escaping into the e-file. The bishop on f4 cuts off the flight squares, and the bishop at f1 goes to a6 to finish the game. Note, 1 bishop for cut off, 1 bishop to check. The king cannot escape from the d-file. The best clue to seeing this mating idea is the pawn in front of the king has stepped forward, opening a diagonal into the king's home. Once you have a bishop aim through the hole created by the c-pawn advance. Notice how the king's only legal move is the diagonal step by b7. And that means an attack along that diagonal as with a bishop on a6 can mate. So your task becomes the removal of the b7 pawn. Queen sacrifice on c6. Pull the b7 pawn out of the way and opening up the diagonal needed to mate. White has some of the elements of Boden mate in place, which is the bishop attack on dark squares in front of the black king, which otherwise is trapped by his own pieces. And white has a queen ready to play queen takes queen, drawing the b7 pawn forward to open the other diagonal. The problem this time is that white's own 9th block has passed on to a6. The natural idea is to move white knight from b5 and best for a track. If queen takes c6, notice the importance of the move order. If white starts with queen takes queen, expecting that to play knight takes a7 next, it won't be too late. For the fast exchange, give black's king a flight square when white gives a check with his knight. This mate, like many others, depends on keeping the king's range of motion under tight control. Black survives, because if bishop takes a7, then bishop a6, that's it. But he can play king to b7, and there's no bishop a6 check moves. So, the best move here was knight takes a7 first. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e6, b takes e6, and then bishop a6. That is mate. Can you mate here in this position? I'll give you 10 seconds, or you can pause the video and think for a few seconds. Here, the first clue to spot is the long-range attack by white a3 bishop against the diagonal running past black's king. The king has nowhere it can go, so if an attack along the h5 to e8 diagonal could be added, white might mate. There is a pawn in the way on f7. But it can be cleared in the usual way of taking the pawn it protects with a threat and a sacrifice. The point is just that the bishops need room to be able to attack the king from two angles. I like the bonus mate, as it hidden very well and given a center mate. Like this example, it is just the opening, but bonus mate is already on the way. The mate here is not obvious, but can you find it out? You can pause the video and think for some seconds. Okay. Can you find the mate here? I'll give you a few seconds and you can pause the video and think for a while. Yes, the mate here is not obvious, but can you find out? When your two bishop is ready to attack, as white does, be mindful of patterns that take advantage of them. The first two check can come naturally. Okay, but now what? Think about the position the king then would have. His back will be against a wall on the back rack. And the e6 bishop will cut off the line squares around it. It's a stand-up for Boden's mate, coming at the king along the dark diagonals leading to h6. The idea is blocked by the pawn on g7. But by now you know what to do about it. Alright, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe Chess Deep Study.